Hi, YouTube. It's me again, Angela. I wanted to thank you all of you guys that came to check in with me after I posted my first video, my sort of return video that I put up last week. We're going to do another quick energy reading now. I do want to move into the astro signs back like we used to do, but that will come, at a later time. I'm going to just do some general energy pickups now so we could get back into the flow together. Okay, so for this week, this is the week of February 27th, Sunday, through the following Saturday, which I believe is the 5th of March. And we're going to just do a general sort of soul perspective reading, figure out where some of us may be, or, we might collectively feel this all together, but let's just get started. I pulled two oracles that are going to sort of guide this reading now. The first one I pulled was ocean, and this is ebb and flow. This is that vibration of allowing the movement, right? Allowing the highs and lows, the what we perceive as good and bad, allowing what is to be there, and to remember that as we are experiencing these ebbs and flows, to stay with the wave, to stay with the energy, not get in front of it, not get behind it, not try to resist it, like a wave was coming crashing on you. We don't want to just stand there and, will it to take us down, like I dare you to take me down. It's more to be with it, move with that energy. The ocean wants us to remember to be fluid in our days. And when things come up that are difficult and our instinct is to freeze or push against, to remind us to just let this be here, right? We can learn a lot from the elements, and the ocean definitely gives us that reminder to stay with it, to stay with what is here, even the uncomfortable stuff, right? And then to pair with that ebb and flow energy that we got, I pulled perspective. This is the Milky Way. This is more now, is while we're working on our present moment awareness and staying with this up and down that life brings us, to make sure to continue to keep a wider perspective, to make sure we are rising, above and sort of beyond what is, our experience in this very moment, to make sure we see a bigger picture. That always will help us to move through even, the most difficult of times, is to try to, I used to say, find the bright side, but it isn't always about the bright side. It's just to find that bigger picture and know reasons for why things come about, and know ways out of it, where it's different and changing with every situation. And then if we're incorporating that ocean energy as we're trying to see this bigger picture, we find ease in this, be with every moment kind of a vibe. So I'm going to pull some Zen Tarot cards to go with these two oracles, and see if we can expand on this reading. I might pull a couple oracles from another deck. Let's just see how it goes. Okay. So the first card I got from the Zen deck, and that was while I was shuffling, it jumped out. I got turning in. So definitely, let's just say, let me just see what else comes out first. Hold on. Okay, I like it. So perfect. Okay, so let's just say we're moving through some sort of an energy that may make us uncomfortable, that may feel like we want to resist it. Like, I don't want this to be in my experience now. Okay, and I could say that for me, this past week or so, it's been very difficult for me to fully rest, to sleep through the night. I don't usually have that issue, but it's been hard with all the unrest that's going on in Ukraine and the invasion that's going on in Ukraine. It's been difficult for me to stay steady because I keep going there. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and think, how are these poor souls doing now? So that for me has been a lesson in needing to stay present and not letting my mind get away from me too much, even though there's a lot to be thinking about right now. It's still, there's only so many things we can control, right? And so I can donate to causes, right? I can send love and healing energy, even though right now I'm not sure, how much that's going to get through. It just seems very frightening for many of the people there. But for me, yeah, my experience this week has been of remembering to return home, remembering to get back into this moment, because I get taken away by all these thoughts, and really the feelings I'm getting is they're strong. They're very strong. Let's just say that. I don't want to go too far off track, but let's just say for us here in my little channel world, when we have this kind of an experience that takes us off our center, we have to remember to move with the energy. If we try to jump ahead of it or try to hang and stay in resistance to it, we get thrown off. So one way to do that is to turning in, right? One way to stay with the flow is to go within, take some breaths, right? This figure, this is a water element too. And so she's very, and I like how it goes with the ocean. She's very tuned in to this moment. The water below her represents her feelings and her emotions, and she's bathing in them. The figures above her head that are sort of haunting her are those mind thoughts. Those are those chattering thoughts that all of us experience, to different degrees of intensity, but at one time or another, we're always experiencing thoughts that take us out of our moment. And she seems very rested, very centered, very okay with what is, right? And then the other side of it, and I like it because remember, with the ocean, we pulled perspective. So finding another perspective, even while we're in this turbulence, making sure we could see a bigger picture. I'm on my way out of this energy. If I stay with the flow, I may exit this energy sooner, right? That's sort of one higher perspective that we could take, one shifted perspective that we could take. With that card, I pulled adventure. So this is kind of like our higher self saying, you know what? Go with it. Go into that unknown, right? This little child figure, she's moving into this forest toward the rainbow light that she knows she wants to experience, but really doesn't know what's coming. She just is going and with that adventurous spirit, right? Let's just try this. Let's go here. Let's see what there is to discover. And I like how that came out with the perspective card, because even in our times of turbulence, or in even our highs, our very, very wonderful high feelings of happiness and joy, it's always good to keep that bigger perspective, that all of these ups and downs are part of the experience, part of what we're here to learn to process through, and to, embrace each, bigger experience or even minor experience with the fullness, that as much fullness as we can bring to it. And then always keeping that perspective on board, and looking forward to what's to come, even though it's unknown. So I like how those started out. It kind of makes me feel like we're, we got all the angles covered. If, we want answers to how to get out of something difficult, then let's just, tune in, return home, and then widen our perspective, call in our higher self into this experience, and then take a step forward into the unseen and the unknown. It's kind of like the cycle that we all go through, day to day. This is what living is, really. But I like that perspective card the most, because it's really keeping us in a place that isn't so minutia directed, this person won't listen to me right now, or whatever it is, instead of saying, oh, I'm not being heard right now, let me continue my message, let me put it somewhere else, let me, move with this, right? Instead of fighting it. I'm pulling one more oracle from this Goddess Dream deck, which I love. I just adore this deck. The illustrations are beautiful, and the messages are always, always very inspiring, which of course I pulled the card Inspiration. So they are inspiring, and so is our next card. This is saying begin now. So this beautiful goddess is on her path. The one thing I love about these cards is they always incorporate animals and elements of nature with them. So if you see her, she's holding that lit path in her hands. She's framing it with her hands as if this is my path. The inspiration is to begin now, even if it seems far off, it's still right there within your grasp, right? And going along with this kind of, lit up energy going toward it. I love it. I love that. So let's pull a little more, let's do like a regular Zen spread around this inspiration card. Okay. So let's recap. We have the template for moving through energies that are, shifting us day in and day out into our lives. We have the template that says, move with it, move with the flow, whatever that is. Sometimes we may need to pause and turn in and reassess. Sometimes we may need to, and most of the time, we need to raise our vibration and see everything from a higher perspective, and then go toward the next unknown experience. Okay. And then from all that sort of framework that we laid down, we have this inspiration card, which is asking us to begin now. So we're at the start of a week. Let's see what the start of this path is going to bring us. And let me just pull this down for you. See if you can get a better, turn these for you. Okay. So those were our base cards. And then we're going off of this inspiration card to be our guide for the Zen spread. Let's see here. We're going to do another quick diamond spread like I did in the last video. It's a very easy way to sort of get a snapshot of what's going on and how we can proceed. Okay, so I'm keeping that inspiration card visible there. Okay, so for our moving forward energy, for our begin this path now, for our, what's next, where do we step next kind of a vibe. These cards here, remember, are our starting point. We have starting point, internal energy, external awareness, the point to the key to moving forward, and then through the line, through this original center card again to the top card, which is sort of the overall insight or outcome of the spread. So our starting point, remember, beginning our path is the dream. So I like this. There's times when I read this card as, sometimes our dreams are a little limiting, and sometimes they're like, we want this, this, and this to come, grow up, get married. This one kind of has a romance vibe to it. Grow up, get married, have 2 kids, that kind of a thing. And usually this card makes me want to share the guidance that open up your perspective a little more, right? This isn't always the only way. But for this position and going with this inspiration card, I love it, because this is saying basically envision, dream it up. What is it that you want to achieve next? See it, feel it, know it, right? This is a manifestation energy here. So I like that. So our first step in moving ourselves toward our inspiration, toward what inspires us, is to make sure our vision is clear. We have clarity as to what that is that we want to move toward. Internally, this manifestation energy is supported by this receptivity card. I love this so much. This is making sure we're fully aligned as is this woman here in the turning in energy. Make sure we're fully aligned within, and then also keeping our crown chakra energy wide open to receive from spirit. So we've called to spirit. We have this dream, this vision that we want to come through, and now we must remain open to receive the message, to receive the first step. You know, our inspiration comes from within, and the next step will come from spirit. You may see signs in your daily life that remind you, oh yeah, you know, whatever. If my dream is to, you know, own a new house, then I envision that, and I hold that vision. I do my daily steps, right? That help me get there, right? I work on the loan. I work on searching the area I want to live in. But then we kind of stop there as far as nailing in all the details, because spirit and the universe will respond to you and help guide you there, right? In your external world, when you get these two energies down, right? Envision it, stay open. We have the source. And this is when it shows up for you. And this is also, you know, this is that spirit energy, that the source above us, but also within us. So this is a strong guiding sort of, you know, guiding steps to getting toward that which we want to see come to fruition. It's see it, open up your channels to receive messages and receive signs and receive information that gets you more closer to that goal. And then, you know, in your day-to-day life, make sure you're connecting the two, right? If that makes sense. Moving forward and getting more toward this inspired wish and dream. Oh, look at this. The key to moving forward is to not control every step, but to relinquish that need, let go of that need to control every step. This is a whole setup and a whole template for allowing it in, allowing in the signs of the newness to come through. But if we grip to, you know, the moment, or if we cling to any specific outcome, we get in our own way, and then we don't make progress. Okay, so learning to balance our sense of control, right? We really love to think we're in control as human beings, and I'll give you some of it. You know, we have control over our actions and the choices we make, and then that's kind of about it, right? We don't really control outside circumstances. We don't control other people's decisions, but we can control what, you know, in our own manifestation. We can control our inner being and our connection to source, our connection to the universe, and then get a couple of those logistics done in our day-to-day life, but then let it go. Then trust that you've put everything in place to receive what it is that you want to come through. And then I love this outcome. This outcome card here, going with the control, is the card of politics. This isn't politics as far as we know it, you know, governmental politics, but this is more talking about the masks that we all wear. You know, we all have the persona that shows up, and then the inner being that's within us. Sorry, I went too high. And the inner being that's within us. So we all have this sense of shrouding ourselves behind masks in order to maybe present better, or make others feel that we're connecting with them the way they want us to connect with them, or whatever. This is a reminder, a lot, because it came in line with the control. We're saying drop the control, drop the mask. And once we can find that authenticity that's back in the center line of cards and hold it, that's where we find the manifestation of those things that we want to see come through. So I love it. The bigger lesson, remember, it's rooted in that ebb and flow energy of the ocean. It's rooted in that. And if we can continue with that rhythm that life brings to us and move with that rhythm, staying, you know, focused and certain of what it is that we want to see come through for us as we're moving the ebb and flow. See, it's a lot of movement here, a lot of thoughts, a lot of present moment awareness, a lot of turning in, a lot of trust and faith. But if we can get that all moving in concert for us, that's when we have success. That's when we have, what they say, I'm in the zone or I'm in the flow. That's what all this means. And remembering that, the amount of control that we try to exert on something will sometimes keep us in place. It sometimes, makes us spin our wheels and we don't have the movement that we're seeking. Okay, I hope this energy update was enlightening for you guys and that you enjoyed it. Like I said, there's more to come. I'm going to be changing the name of my channel soon, as soon as I get other things in place. So stay tuned for that. Stay subscribed to me, and I'll look different, but I'll still be me. The little logo will be different, but it will still be me. And soon I'm going to start doing some astro sign readings like I used to. I know those were fun. I may do them like all in one chunk, all in one video, just to save time, but I will be posting a couple times a week from now on. So good to see you guys again. And until next time, I'll see you in a few days. Okay.